it's wonderful to be here, and this is an exciting part of the day, even though it's very short. But I want to introduce these two wonderful, wonderful students. We make it a tradition at Kin not to give long bios because we have those in your books. I would recommend very strongly, not during this next 15 minutes, but afterwards, read the bios of these two people. Tyler and Sara are amazing, amazing people. You know, when we talk about this younger generation, oftentimes the media likes to blow up the issue that, oh, you know, they're growing up on video games, they're disrespectful, they don't work hard, they don't have the work ethic, it's the everyone's a winner generation. And you know, when I tease my kids about this, my kids are very quick to say, don't forget you raised us. But I tell you, the media doesn't have it right. If you have an opportunity to spend time with these two in the next couple of days, next day and a half, please do that, and you will be tremendously inspired. What I'd like to do right now is ask both Tyler and Sara, in that order, Tyler first, Sara next, to come up and give you about 5 minutes of what they presented to Peter and Siri on how they determine going from success to significance. Okay? Tyler, you're up.
So business is a cutthroat, mean-spirited, endless competition amongst those who continually work to line the pockets of chief executives and shareholders while only superficially engaging in self-serving social, moral, and environmental initiatives. That is at least how business has been vilified. But why? Why should companies and corporations be viewed in this negative, disillusioned, and admittedly hyperbolic light? Or perhaps the real question should be how that perception can be changed. That inquiry, though, has an immensely easier answer. Companies and corporations, chief executives, and entrepreneurs alike must make the transition from success to significance. To transition from success to significance and grow for good is to understand that the world and her citizens, and not just businesses, markets, senior executives, and shareholders, are interconnected in a way that may not be completely comprehended at first thought. To transition from success to significance is to understand that you are guided by economic stewardship, that you are willing to allow business to be the vehicle of your inspired contribution to others, and that you can make a difference through your actions if you only try and make one. Growing for good does not simply mean expanding into a different region to sell more products and make more money and be more competitive. That definition of growing for good forgets to address the good. Merely growing does not equate to you positively affecting change in the world. That can only be done through an understanding that success in business is not only predicated on profit. It is the pairing of business objectives of today with a holistic vision for tomorrow. Businesses afford those that wield their power the greatest opportunity to make a difference in the lives of people if they are utilized in the right ways, if they are steered towards sustainability and profitability with guidance from ethics. That is my most pressing message today, and one that I hope will resonate with those of us at Kin Global 2015 and empower us to go out and make inspired and global change. Because at the heart of the question of growing for good is a seemingly simple balance of environment, economy, and community. And where do those goals find their synergistic bliss the best? And it's when they're steered towards guidance from ethics, when they're steered towards profitability, when they're steered towards sustainability. Businesses, though, are nothing more than collections of people working towards a common cause, and many individuals today forget that crucial distinction. The idea of business can at times become some highly exclusive, detrimentally limiting, distant and lofty goal of the quote-unquote 1%. That the idea of owning a store, of operating a franchise, of becoming a self-employed entrepreneur are just silly, never going to happen in a million years dreams, because business is too complex or scary or risky, because business is reserved only for those with fancy degrees from Ivy League schools, because business is this, that, and the other. The 21st century concept of business can become too monolithically, monstrously, massively scary for the ordinary citizen to view with clear eyes and an open mind because they see a stark absence of growing for good. This very same people, however, that think that business is too scary or complex or risky, the very same people that feel that business is reserved only for those with fancy degrees from the elitists of the elite colleges, are the very same people that make up businesses all around the world. They are the strongest foundations and soundest pillars of any and all businesses, and they should be valued and respected as such. The connection between people and business allows for, at a fundamental level, a simple transition from success to significance, because any small change you make in business can have a profound effect on people. That is why growing for good is so important. It can lead to significant success. This talk, however, has been only that, talk. And the real change comes not from pretty calls to action and impassioned phrases, but from the actions taken by those like those in this very room. Those whose actions, when steered towards guidance from ethics, from sustainability and profitability, the things that I've talked about today, can lead to immense, powerful, and global change. This is what I mean. My father's worked at the Home Depot for decades. It's not always the easiest way to make a living. It's not always the highest paying or the most posh way to do so. But he's stayed there for decades because he enjoys the time he spends at that business because of the initiatives they lead in promoting global change and global growth for good. For example, if a Home Depot distributor cuts down lumber or trees to use as lumber in their stores, they replant 4 more in its place, ensuring the strength of the earth for future generations. That initiative is guided by sustainability, it's rooted in profitability, and it's structured around ethics, striking the perfect balance that invariably leads to growing for good. I will leave you with this, a message that I hope will resonate with those of us at King Global 2015 and lead us out to go and make inspired and powerful change. The idea that businesses should be charities for their communities is as fundamentally flawed as the idea that businesses can disregard those that invariably make them function each and every day. To strike the perfect balance, to meet in the middle of those 2 avenues, is to grow for good and transition from success to significance. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sara Saeedvafa, and I'm here to talk to you about success and significance. Here at KIN, there's a lot of emphasis placed on growth. In order to grow, you have to be open to change, and those who are willing to make the change necessary to grow are those who are on their way to significance. Success is the achievement of a goal. It provides individual success, but in order to grow, in order to make change, you cannot stop at success. However, success can be used as a stepping stone to achieve significance. People like Laverne Cox, who have used their popularity from media and use that popularity to host conferences and give speeches and all that to empower the youth and empower underprivileged people from all backgrounds and empower them to achieve their own goals and to gain their own success. Striving for success is necessary for continuation. If everyone focuses on their own success, society would be stripped of the ability to grow and change. Achieving success, then aiming for significance, provides the perspectives of the lives changed. It allows people to transition from the tunnel view of success to the horizon of significance. Those with success are those with power, and when those with power, influence, and reputation are giving back, that is when society will thrive. Big businesses and all those things, they're all the most important parts of our society right now. They hold the power, they hold influence, they hold reputation, and when those companies start giving back, like Dove, like Home Depot, as Tyler was talking about, that is when our society will grow. It's all about change in this generation. We're part of a really progressive time. Generations in the future will look back at this time and see all the change in social growth and environmental replacement and all that, and they will see us the same way that we view the civil rights movement of the 60s. And I think that if we continue this pattern, if we continue to give back and continue to focus on equality and environmentalism, then we will continue to thrive. Thank you.
Okay, so wow. Okay, I'm so glad we did this. Rob and Peter will tell you, I've been trying to push for getting more younger people in this group. Not that I don't think we're all great, but I think that, you know, when you're in a venue where it's about education, it's about mutual inspiration, isn't it? It's about being inspired by people who are up here as well as being inspired by people sitting out there. And I think this has just been a wonderful way to share in a very short period of time from a generation of people who we are going to be giving this world to in a few years. And I think it's tremendously inspirational. So we have time for one question, and I have one question for both Sara and Tyler. Here in the audience, you have people who are significantly older, significantly, some more significant than others. And you know, something that we tend to do is we tend to talk about generations as the way we used to grow up and the way you're growing up. And we tend to separate these generations in conversations. Yet we know that success going forward is about how we engage with one another. And so my question to both of you is, what is the advice you have for people in this audience to engage with your generation, both personally and professionally?
I think it's important with, you know, we have like the older, younger generation divide, that we understand that the younger generation can have fabulous ideas just as the older generation can have fabulous ideas, and that if we could work together on a lot of these initiatives and work together on how we can move forward in a more unified way, and we can move forward in a way that involves both generations that we were talking about. I mean, it can be intimidating to be part of this younger generation speaking to the older generation. It can be intimidating when you're, you know, at the after-hours party drinking a Shirley Temple while everyone else is sipping red wine. But I think that just being involved within these sorts of initiatives and being involved in a community where we're able to share our ideas, where we're able to talk, where we're able to have these sorts of forums where we can be involved in a way that, regardless of where we come from in terms of the business spectrum, in terms of our involvement in public and private life, and we can come together and share our ideas regardless of all that. I think it's really important in getting people involved and getting the younger generation involved. And I feel bad for everyone that submitted essays and wasn't able to come and attend the conference, because boy, are they missing out. And I'm glad that there was that sort of involvement and reaching out to try and get us involved. And I think that's really important, that if we may not do it ourselves, that the older generation takes steps to involve us. And I think this is a really great example of that occurring.
I definitely agree with Tyler and everything he said. I think that what this conference is doing, allowing us to be here and absorb everything that's going on within the adult world, within business, and seeing how business is being interconnected with so many other subjects, like it's connected with arts right now, and I think that's really great because usually the two subjects are very polarized. And I think that from the videos we saw yesterday, seeing all the businesses like Dove going back and connecting with what real women look like, and seeing that not everyone is a model, not everyone is the stereotypical archetype for beauty, and seeing those companies connect with the youth in the rebirth of feminism, the new concentration on equal rights, civil rights that's regrowing now within our generation, and seeing the older generation kind of connect with us on that, I think that's really great. And I think right now we're definitely moving in the right direction, and to see that those ideas publicized more and letting us know that these changes are happening and this generation is working on it, and we're not as different as older as we usually think we are. Thank you.
So Sara told us that we need to move from the tunnel view of success to the horizon of significance. What great words. I love that. Tyler told us to balance economics and ethics. You know, I think that when it comes to, I think you're right, Sara. I think when it comes to the generations, we're actually not all that different. We are being brought up with different technologies and things like that, but basically, from a human standpoint, we all have the same values. And I think it is very, very refreshing for us to hear from both of these young adults, and I look forward to more opportunities like this in the future. So will you join me in one more round of applause for these two amazing kids?
Boy, oh boy, Tyler and Sara, You called us out. I think, Tyler, you said, like the people in this room, if you happen to be paying attention. So yes, we will be handing you the keys to the empire, such as it is. Our deepest apologies for the many troubles that we've created for you. But our heartfelt thanks for lifting it up with alacrity like you're doing. We feel much better of the future of the world knowing that you'll be in charge.